So we're still in our series about fasting. We keep talking about different types of fast, the definition of fasting, all of these different things we've already covered. Now let's talk about the benefits of what fasting can do for you.
Sure.
What does it do for your spirit?
Well, there's a few things that I were thinking about, Drew, and I think, and I want to outline these because this is so important.
Yeah.
This is so good, and I want to give whoever's listening to this just an opportunity to hear this. So when food is not in your diet, or even a digital detox too as well, I would say this, I would do is not, if you can fast with food and you are able to do that, I encourage you to try that. Mm-hmm. And I would even encourage you to add a digital detox on top of that.
Right, yeah.
But when food and those things aren't in your life for a number of days, this is what takes place in your spirit. You're asking maybe Pastor Drew, Pastor Floyd, what's going to happen to me? What's going to happen to me? And we want to outline a couple of those things.
Yeah.
The first one is this. Your spirit becomes uncluttered by the things of this world.
Yeah.
When you remove things of this world, it's amazing how it's almost like it's a spiritual clean out.
Yeah.
You know, we call it spring cleaning, of going through your house and you're just getting rid of stuff.
Right.
You know, there just needs to be that's exactly what is happening in your spirit, man. There's an uncluttering that is going on. God is spiritually, you can't explain it unless you've been through it. Yeah. There's an uncluttering, you feel just a cleanliness.
Yeah.
Well, and I'll tell you this, really in the natural, in the body, the toxins are being pushed. Now in the natural,
right.
The toxins are being released out of your body, and it's almost like you got a clean slate.
Yeah.
There's really no difference in your spirit.
Yeah.
What's happening is the toxins of sin, or the position of this world is being removed out of you so you could be sensitive. So that's the first one. Then your spirit becomes uncluttered. That's number one. Your spirit becomes uncluttered by the things of this world.
It's like releasing the fog, like we talked about at the very beginning.
That's right.
In one of our previous, releasing that steam so we can receive our purpose.
There you go.
Yeah.
And the psalmist says this, deep calls unto deep.
Yeah.
That's good.
Yeah.
Deep calls unto deep. That's what the psalmist said. And then we refer to this, and I know a lot of people, even hearing teaching, preaching about fasting, but I like this. I didn't say this, but really fasting is feasting on the Lord.
Yeah.
And I like that.
Absolutely.
So that's the first point. Okay. Your spirit becomes uncluttered by the things of this world. Gotcha. Number two. Okay. Number two. In Him, you become amazingly sensitive to the things of God. That same place where the psalmist said, deep calls unto deep, the psalmist reached a place where he could cry out from the depths of his spirit. And you'll just start feeling and sensing things, not only in the natural, you'll feel it in the natural. It's like we got five senses.
Yeah.
And I just believe the sensitivity of your spirit just becomes heightened and aware, where maybe and this is what happens. We're in this world, we're not of this world.
Right.
And sometimes it gets cluttered with things here and there. I mean, of this, all the time, voices from everywhere.
Yeah.
And when we remove those things, it's almost just a direct, I'm serious, a direct line to the things of God.
Yeah.
It really does. His word starts just coming out like never before. Yeah. And so intimacy takes on a new meaning to us with God. And I've said this, and you've heard me preach this before. I love that word intimacy, because you could really go slow with that and go into me see.
Yeah, that's good.
So if you're going to get intimate with God, what happens during that time of prayer and fasting and seeking through His Word is into Him see, into me see.
Yeah.
We're really getting into Him.
Yeah.
And so there's an intimacy that happens. So that's the second one.
Yeah.
You become amazingly sensitive to the things of God. And the third one is fasting reveals the things. This is powerful. Fasting reveals the things that control us.
Yeah.
We cover up with everything that happened. And I don't think we intentionally sometimes do this, but sometimes I think with all the things that we allow, it just becomes things in our heart. We get sensitized, so to speak.
Yeah.
And the Spirit of the Lord, and some of these things aren't necessarily sin. Now, some of them are.
Yeah.
But some of them really aren't. But Jesus is speaking to our heart and saying that right there is separating me from you. It's you're not spending enough time with me because you're spending more time
Doing this. Yeah.
So really what happens is we cover up what's inside of us with food, with other things.
Yeah.
That's what happens. But in fasting, what happens, these things start to surface.
Yeah.
They really come up. And what happens is there starts to be a draining of us.
Yeah.
You know, you don't really understand that until you read John 1, when John basically says, let me decrease and let God increase.
Yeah.
You know, so a draining of us comes physically and spiritually, almost like a bathtub. You know, when you drain the water, it exposes what's clogging the drain. And so that's kind of what happens. When we are astute, or when we are in tune with God in this, and then we're starting to be like Him. We're created in His likeness.
Right. Yeah.
He reveals things through this time that needs to be taken care of in our lives.
That's good.
So that's exactly right. What happens to us.
Yeah.
Some of the things that happen to us.
Yeah. All of our benefits. And there's so many more. There's so many more.
This is just touching the surface.
Right. Yeah. Just the basic of it. But if you want to find out more information, again, if you want to find out more information about fasting and what fasting is, you can go to calvarychristianag.org/fasting.